Photoshop Creative Cloud 2015 Classroom in a Book, Chapter 8, Part C. We are lastly going to add a little color and jazz this up using a bevel and emboss effect on both the coffee cup and the logo type. With the logo type layer selected, we're going to go down to Add a Layer Effect and pick up Color Overlay. Go to your colors, click on that, and pick up a nice dark red. You could actually use your color picker if you wanted to match the coffee cup and pick up one of the colors off of the coffee cup and say OK to that color. Rather than closing this, we're going to click on Bevel and Emboss and make that active. Accept the defaults for the bevel and emboss, or you can make changes if you would like. You could change the size or change the softening a little bit if you would like. Whatever it comes up with, say OK. The color overlay and the bevel and emboss affect that layer. We're going to copy those onto the coffee cup layer. All we're going to need to do is to click on the effects and hold down your Alt button and then drag the effects down to your coffee cup, and that applies to both objects. You should save now, and we're going to continue on. We're skipping the extra credit on page 197. You can try that if you'd like, but I would much rather move on to page 198, and we're going to include the extra credit section there. We're going to repeat the coffee cup logo to make a repeated motif at the bottom of the sign, and we're going to use our smart guides to do this. Go to View and to Show, and make sure that your smart guides are turned on. If they're not, click on them to select it. Otherwise, click off so you don't deselect. Select your coffee cup layer. Now go to your Move tool and make sure you have that selected. You're going to press Alt, which is going to be Option in Mac, plus your Shift key, and drag that coffee cup straight down to the lower left corner of the sign. That Alt key copies the object, and the Shift key constrains it to moving in a straight line. You'll get your smart guides. You see that it is another layer. Go to Edit and Free Transform, or if you have your transform controls already showing, you can resize your coffee mug. Make sure you're holding your Shift key down and drag it down to so it's about 1/4 of the size that it originally was. Somewhere around there is good, or you could go smaller if you'd like. Let me confirm my transform. Hold down my Alt key and I will get my double-headed arrows, add my Shift key, and I can drag. And I want to drag this out so that I have about 3.5 inches in between my two coffee cups. And you can see the smart guides are giving you the distance in between in pink. When you get approximately 3.5 inches, and it can be close, release, and this time select the second image and repeat again. And this time you're going to show both items, and it's going to actually tell you when we have both of those items spaced equally. And next we're going to do the same thing to get 4 coffee cups across the bottom, and again you're going to get, there it is, there, and I went past. There are my 4 coffee cups spaced evenly across the bottom of my sign. Once I have those selected, if I want to go back in, I can hold down my Shift key and select coffee cup copy 3, 2, and 1, and I can move them and place them so that they line up a little more centered on my image. And this is where I am going to save. One other thing that I want to note on here is that I did not delete my paths It's perfectly okay to do that, or you can leave it either way. But you are going to save your file. Before you do your save as, I would like you to go up to image size, and change the dimensions of your file. The resolution is 72, but we end up with a rather large image because of the multiple layers. Therefore, I would like you to change the size of this from a 21-inch wide image down to a 10-inch wide image and say OK. At this point, you can go in and do a save as, and you're going to save as your PDF file, which I had already saved as, but I'm going to resave mine. I have to replace my file, but we're going to save as press quality and save the PDF. What this is going to do is give you a nicer size file to include when you turn this in to me. This is then converted into only a 2 meg file, which is going to be much easier for you to upload. You have two files to upload. You have this sign, and if you would like to reposition anything on here, you can. You also have the practice file that you can turn in.